Hello, everyone. My name is Anna, and I'm so happy to welcome you to this exciting English learning journey. Just like many of you, I once felt overwhelmed whenever I tried to speak a foreign language. However, I discovered a fun way to overcome this by immersing myself in stories that made me forget I was even studying. Today, I'd like to take you on an unforgettable adventure set in a vibrant international summer camp. Have you ever dreamed of traveling abroad, meeting people from different countries, and testing your English skills in real-life situations? This story will help you experience all of that from the comfort of your home. Throughout this video, you'll learn new words, expressions, and practical phrases by following the journey of a group of friends who come together at a picturesque lakeside camp. Before we dive in, here's a quick tip. Remember to turn on subtitles if you need them, and don't hesitate to repeat any words or sentences you find interesting. Repetition helps improve both your pronunciation and your confidence. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate learner, or just someone who loves hearing English, this story will bring you closer to fluency. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore a place where teamwork, friendship, and a little bit of courage can bring people from all over the world together. By the end of this chapter, you'll feel more inspired to speak up and share your own voice. Let's jump into our first day at the International Summer Camp. Keep in mind that learning a language is a journey, not a race. Feel free to pause whenever you need to review new vocabulary or practice pronunciation. The goal is to make you comfortable in expressing yourself naturally, step by step. Let's begin our adventure now. The next morning arrived with a gentle glow of sunlight peeking through the curtains, signaling it was time for a brand new adventure. Anna, feeling both excited and slightly nervous, stepped off the old camp bus onto the gravel road. A wide lake shimmered in the distance, surrounded by tall evergreens that swayed in the breeze. The air felt crisp and refreshing, carrying the scent of pine needles and wildflowers. For a moment, Anna paused to take in the beauty of this secluded haven, hoping that this would be the perfect place to build confidence in her English skills. All around, other campers were gathering, each carrying backpacks, sleeping bags, or small suitcases. A soft murmur of mixed voices drifted through the air. Spanish, French, Japanese, Italian, and several other languages Anna couldn't identify right away. She realized that although everyone came from different corners of the globe, there was a shared excitement in their faces. She spotted a bright wooden sign reading, "Welcome to Pine Ridge Camp," near a row of picnic tables. Approaching the tables, Anna noticed a friendly counselor. A tall man with curly hair wearing a green t-shirt that read "Staff." His name tag said Josh, and he greeted her with a kind smile. "Good morning." "Welcome to Pine Ridge Camp," he said in clear, patient English. Anna tried to respond, but she momentarily froze, forgetting her carefully rehearsed greeting. Embarrassed, she managed a shy smile and a quick nod. Thankfully, Josh seemed used to helping campers who needed extra time to find the right words. He handed Anna a small orientation packet. "Take a look at these instructions for your cabin assignment," he explained gently. "If you have any questions, I'll be right here." Anna took a deep breath and flipped through the pages. Each section was carefully written in simple English, discussing camp rules, meal schedules, and evening activities like campfires by the lake. She reminded herself to stay calm and focus on one sentence at a time. After all, she wasn't alone. Right behind her stood Diego. a boy from Spain who also carried a map of the camp, muttering to himself in Spanish while trying to decipher the instructions. When he glanced at Anna, they shared a timid laugh, realizing they were in the same situation. While scanning her packet, Anna learned that each camper would be placed in a small cabin with people from different countries. This strategy, the packet mentioned, encouraged everyone to use English as their common language. Although the idea sounded challenging, Anna saw it as a chance to make friends and improve her speaking abilities. Soon, a whistle sounded, capturing everyone's attention. A group of counselors stood in a semicircle, smiling brightly. A counselor with short blonde hair introduced herself as Megan. She raised her voice so everyone could hear. "Welcome, everyone. We're thrilled you've chosen Pine Ridge to practice your English and have fun this summer. Throughout your stay, you'll explore hiking trails, enjoy canoe rides, and participate in group projects that help you use English in real-life situations. If you ever feel confused, just ask for help. We're here to support you." Megan pointed towards several buildings on a nearby hill. "Those red-roofed cabins will be your home away from home. Check your orientation packets for your cabin number, then feel free to drop off your bags and get settled. Lunch will be served in the dining hall at noon. That building," she continued, gesturing toward a rustic log structure by the lake, "is where we'll gather for meals. Please don't hesitate to practice your English with each other. Remember, the more you speak, the easier it gets." Although Anna's heart pounded, she forced herself to whisper, "Cabin 3, here I come." The campgrounds were buzzing with energy, and she could feel her nerves mixing with excitement. As she began to walk uphill, she passed others who were checking their orientation packets or glancing around for directional signs. Some murmured quick greetings in English, but many stuck to smiles and gestures, as if testing the language waters. Upon reaching cabin 3, Anna pushed open the weathered wooden door, seeing 4 bunks arranged neatly. She recognized Diego from earlier, already setting his things down. Standing next to him was Sarah, an outgoing girl from Italy, who introduced herself immediately. "Hi, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. Let's help each other with English, okay?" Another occupant, a quiet boy named Kenji from Japan, offered a polite bow but managed a soft hello. Their initial shyness lingered, yet an unspoken bond formed as they realized they were all on the same quest to speak. Sitting on her bunk, Anna flipped through the orientation packet once more. Certain words popped out: forest, cabin, counselor, schedule, and activity. Determined to remember them, she repeated them under her breath, imagining how she might use each term in a sentence. The camp staff had underlined key vocabulary, hinting at how important it was for daily communication. Anna hoped that by consistently practicing, she'd become more comfortable in conversations. Before she could rest, a sudden announcement crackled through a nearby loudspeaker. "Attention, campers! An icebreaker game will begin in 15 minutes by the big oak tree in the center of the camp. Be prepared to move around and get to know your fellow campers." Anna exchanged excited glances with her cabin mates, feeling her heart flutter in anticipation of what lay ahead. This was a chance to practice real English in a fun, active environment. Ready or not, she knew it was time to push her boundaries. With a final look around the cozy cabin, Anna grabbed her water bottle, secured her orientation packet, and stepped back outside. All around, people were drifting toward the large tree, forming small groups. Anna whispered encouragingly to herself, "I can do this," and took her first hopeful steps toward the crowd. Anna followed the flow of cheerful voices toward the towering oak tree. There, a circle had already formed, with campers chatting and craning their necks to hear the counselors. Megan and Josh stood at the center, each holding a clipboard and wearing broad smiles. "All right, everyone," Megan called out, raising her voice just enough to be heard over the growing buzz. "We'll start with an icebreaker game to help you meet new friends and practice English in a fun way. This activity is called Find Someone Who..." She paused, scanning the crowd with an enthusiastic grin. "When I say go, each of you will walk around and find at least one person who matches each statement on this list." She handed out small sheets of paper with phrases like, "Find someone who can play the guitar," or "Find someone who has traveled to more than 3 countries." The final item said, "Find someone who wants to improve their English this summer," which prompted a burst of laughter from the group. Anna scanned her own paper nervously. She'd never done an activity like this before in a language she was still learning. However, she reminded herself that this was precisely why she had come to camp. She needed to speak even if she made mistakes. Diego, standing nearby, glanced over and gave her an encouraging thumbs up. "Go," Megan yelled, and the group broke into a flurry of movement. Anna approached a tall girl with braided hair who seemed equally unsure. Summoning her courage, Anna smiled and said, "Hi, I'm Anna. Do you play guitar?" The girl giggled and nodded excitedly. "Yes, I do. I'm Maria from Argentina." "Let's check that off your list." They exchanged brief introductions, each stumbling slightly but laughing through the awkwardness. In another corner of the circle, Sarah enthusiastically asked a boy named Marcus about his love for soccer, while Kenji quietly looked for someone who might have visited Asia. Campers shifted from one conversation to the next, exchanging facts about themselves and practicing simple English questions such as, "Where are you from?" or "Have you been to another country?" Although their grammar wasn't perfect, the shared curiosity overcame any language barriers. After a few minutes, Josh blew a whistle to get everyone's attention. "Great job, guys! Now, please find your way into teams of 4. Stand with people you don't know yet so you can make new friends." Anna was about to stay with Diego, Sarah, and Kenji, but they were scattered across the clearing. Instead, she ended up with Maria, a soft-spoken student named Pierre from France, and a bubbly girl named Chloe from Canada. They formed a small semicircle, smiling politely at one another. "Each team will receive a challenge, a scavenger hunt around the camp," Josh continued. "You'll need to follow the clues, solve small puzzles, and collect certain items. Remember, the only rule is that you must communicate in English. Don't be shy, this is a chance to practice real-life conversations." Counselors began handing out clue sheets. Anna's team received theirs from Megan, who added a friendly reminder, "Don't worry too much about perfect grammar. Focus on making yourselves understood and have fun." The first clue read, "Go to the place where stories are told after dark. Look around for a shiny object." Maria pointed excitedly. "That must be the fire pit area," she guessed. "We gather at night for campfire stories, so that's probably it." The group nodded and trotted across the campground. Sure enough, they found a small, reflective badge pinned to a log bench. Beneath it lay the next clue. When you see boats, you're halfway there. Spot the red sign and find your next treasure. Pierre scratched his head. Boats! Maybe the lake or the canoe dock, he suggested. Chloe chimed in. Yes, there's a little pier by the lake where we keep the canoes. Let's go. The four hurried down the gravel path, passing a few other teams who waved hello. The midday sun glistened on the water. They spotted the bright red sign that said, "Life jackets required," and just below it, a small wooden box. Inside was the next instruction. Build a structure that stands on its own using natural items around you. Twigs, leaves, pebbles. Include something symbolic of teamwork. Anna felt her heart race. She'd never been good at building things, let alone explaining how to build them in English. However, the group wasted no time. Chloe encouraged them. Let's gather some sturdy sticks first. Pierre nodded. We can shape it like a teepee. That might stand on its own. Maria and Anna collected scattered branches. Occasionally, they paused to help each other find words. I need a thicker branch, or pass me more leaves, please. The small, repetitive phrases began to feel natural, each one building their confidence. When their structure finally stood upright, a spindly teepee decorated with colorful leaves, Anna grinned from ear to ear. She placed a tiny pebble heart at the base to represent unity. The group took a moment to admire their creation, snapping a quick photo with Chloe's phone. Despite a few grammar errors along the way, they had managed to complete a task in English, supporting each other through every step. Their clue sheet prompted one last puzzle. Return to the center of camp with your entire team, carrying a piece of your structure as proof of completion. Chloe carefully plucked the pebble heart while Maria held onto a twisted twig. They set off together, chatting about how they could improve their English. Maria confessed she struggled with past tense, while Anna admitted her biggest fear was pronunciation. Pierre joked that his accent gave him away instantly, but Chloe reassured him that his accent was charming. Walking back toward the oak tree, they noticed the other teams arriving as well. Some carried wildflowers, others clutched small crafts made of leaves and bark. Megan waved from a table covered in a bright banner that read, "Congratulations!" One by one, each group presented a piece of their creation or a collected item, and the counselors nodded in approval. Josh stepped forward to address the newly assembled crowd. Well done, everyone. You have all successfully completed the scavenger hunt and practiced your English along the way. Notice how using simple sentences can still help you communicate ideas and solve problems. This is just the start of our adventures here at Pine Ridge Camp. A warm applause spread through the group. Anna's cheeks flushed, partly from the exercise and partly from the pride of having spoken up without letting her nerves get the best of her. She saw that same triumphant glimmer in the eyes of her new friends, who had pushed their language limits too. Now, Megan interjected, it's time for lunch in the dining hall. We encourage you to keep practicing. Ask a new friend about their favorite part of the scavenger hunt or share something you learned today. Let's keep this positive energy going. Anna's heart fluttered. She'd successfully met new people, followed instructions in English, and tackled an outdoor challenge. She felt invigorated, ready to see what else the camp had in store. Together with her team, she left the oak tree area, carrying both a small twig and a large sense of accomplishment. As they made their way toward the rustic dining hall, Anna glanced around at the beaming faces of other campers. Everyone had their own accent, their own pace, and their own comfort level, yet here they were, sharing a common language to achieve a goal. This moment confirmed for Anna that real-life challenges could transform learning into a joyful experience. The future days at Pine Ridge Camp promised plenty of opportunities to build on that excitement, and she felt eager to embrace each one. After completing the scavenger hunt, many campers, including Anna's group, began reflecting on the language skills they had used. The camp counselors recognized the importance of consolidating new vocabulary and expressions, so they arranged a brief workshop on common phrases and grammatical points. The workshop started with Josh highlighting the difference between direct requests, such as, "Pass me the rope," and polite requests, like, "Could you pass me the rope, please?" He explained that while direct commands can sound abrupt, using could or can softens the request. Anna recalled how her team seamlessly adopted polite phrases during the activity. Next, Megan discussed the importance of question words. She pointed out how questions such as, "Where are you from?" or "Have you traveled to another country?" encourage longer answers and deeper conversations. This approach led campers to share personal stories, helping them practice speaking in a relaxed context. She also reminded everyone that partial answers, like, "Yes, I traveled to Spain last year," are perfectly acceptable if they accurately convey the intended meaning. In another part of the workshop, Pierre and Chloe offered a few insights on pronunciation. They mentioned that certain consonant clusters like TH in with or thing can be tricky for non-native speakers. By slowly practicing words like think and through, campers could enhance clarity and confidence. Megan also recommended minimal pair exercises like tree versus three, helping participants recognize subtle but crucial differences in English sounds. Grammar was another focal point, especially for those who worried about mixing up verb tenses. Maria, for instance, frequently used present tense forms for past events. Megan reassured her that minor slip-ups are normal. "Focus on clearly expressing your thoughts first," she said. "Then we can refine the tenses as you gain more confidence." The entire workshop underscored how grammar mistakes shouldn't discourage enthusiastic participation. During a short demonstration, Josh role-played a mini dialogue where he asked a camper for help. He said, "Hey, could you hold this map while I tie my shoelaces?" The camper responded, "Sure, here you go." Megan paused the scenario to explain that a direct statement, "Hold my map," would be acceptable in some contexts, but might feel too demanding. She emphasized that politeness often fosters better cooperation and a friendlier atmosphere. Afterward, they offered tips on understanding English sentence structure. Campers learned that placing the subject before the verb is standard, as in, "I need help." However, it's also common to see variations like, "Could you help me?" for requests. Anna realized that these patterns, although simple, proved vital in everyday interactions. She remembered her initial moment of panic at the registration table when her mind blanked. Now she felt more prepared, knowing that even small phrases could make a huge difference. Finally, Megan wrote a few key expressions on a whiteboard: teamwork, cooperation, solve problems, share ideas, and ask questions. She encouraged everyone to keep these in mind whenever they face challenges. Don't hesitate to try new words, she advised. And if you forget something, just ask. By the end of the workshop, campers felt more at ease. They had a clearer sense of how to frame questions, requests, and casual statements. Confidence, they realized, grows through practice and repetition. With fresh insights, everyone left determined to keep improving their English in real-world situations. Before dismissing everyone for lunch, Megan reminded them that collaboration was the heart of effective communication. She encouraged campers to ask follow-up questions when confusion arose. Diego raised his hand, mentioning that even hesitant attempts at speaking had helped him. Megan agreed wholeheartedly, emphasizing that authentic engagement mattered more than flawless grammar. Anna felt relief wash over her, realizing how vital mutual support could be. With that in mind, the campers departed, energized to put their newly sharpened skills into action. As soon as the workshop concluded, campers gathered near the dining hall for a special role-play session. The counselors had set up several simple scenarios, each designed to boost communication skills using everyday English. Anna felt a flutter of excitement as she joined a group by a makeshift cafe station decorated with wooden tables and painted menus. Megan and Josh explained that everyone would take turns playing either a customer or a server, practicing key phrases often used in real life. Remember, Josh said, addressing the circle, this is your chance to try out expressions like, may I take your order? Or could I have a sandwich, please? Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is to speak as much as you can. Anna teamed up with Diego, Sarah, and Kenji. Together, they stood behind a table labeled Camp Cafe. Diego volunteered to be the first customer, while Anna acted as the server. She nervously cleared her throat. Good afternoon, how can I help you? She asked, slow but steady. Diego responded, I'd like an iced coffee, please. Anna pretended to scribble on a notepad, then replied, Sure, that will be $2. They exchanged imaginary money, giggling at the playful setting. Meanwhile, Sarah and Kenji practiced at the neighboring station, where the script involved buying a train ticket. Sarah stumbled over a few words, but Kenji, hesitant himself, gently helped her pronounce them correctly. They used polite phrases like, Excuse me, I'd like a ticket to Green Valley, and here's your change. The counselors encouraged them to repeat tricky lines twice for clarity. After a few rounds of switching roles, Megan clapped her hands to gather everyone's attention. Great job! Now we're going to shift to a different activity. Think about any situation you might encounter at camp asking for directions, borrowing a book, or requesting help with chores. Each group will create a mini dialogue and act it out. Use phrases from the workshop or from your personal vocabulary. Ready? Anna's group huddled up. They decided on a scenario where a lost camper, Anna, tries to find the hiking trail. Diego played a counselor, while Sarah and Kenji portrayed fellow campers. They brainstormed useful expressions. Could you show me the map? I'm looking for the trail to Eagle Peak, and don't worry, I can guide you. When they performed their scene, Anna spoke clearly, though her voice shook at first. Excuse me, I'm a bit lost. Could you help me find the trail? Diego responded in a reassuring tone. Of course. See that sign by the big rock? Follow the path to the waterfall. You'll find Eagle Peak from there. The short exchange felt remarkably authentic, and applause erupted when they finished. Even Kenji, usually reserved, managed to say, "Take a left at the fork," with surprising confidence. Megan encouraged campers to repeat each group's phrases and insert them into their own dialogues. For those watching, she added, addressing the rest of the circle, "Try saying these lines out loud. Imagine you're right here asking for directions or offering help." A wave of murmured repetition swept through the campers, who mouthed each phrase as if rehearsing for a real adventure. After several more rounds of roleplay, the session wrapped up with enthusiastic high fives and cheers. Counselors congratulated everyone for their courage and reminded them that authentic practice builds fluency faster than memorizing endless word lists. Anna beamed, reflecting on how far she'd come since stepping off the bus on the first day. Before heading to the next scheduled activity, the group paused to share quick feedback. Which phrases felt natural, which needed more practice, and which words still caused confusion. In that friendly atmosphere of mutual support, each camper walked away with a renewed sense of accomplishment. Together, they were turning every playful scenario into a real stepping stone toward greater English fluency. The day's final rays of sunlight found Anna and her new friends gathered near the lakeshore, reflecting on how much they had grown. Although they had arrived from different countries, stumbling over grammar and pronunciation, they had bonded over shared challenges and small victories. The camp's promise to bring everyone closer through everyday English interactions had proven to be true. As Anna sat by the flickering campfire, she remembered her first hesitant steps off the bus, uncertain about making conversation. Now, with each passing day, she felt more comfortable initiating dialogues, even if her words weren't always perfect. The supportive environment taught her that communication is not about flawless sentences, but about expressing herself and connecting with others. Around the circle, the gentle crackle of wood accompanied snippets of conversation. Kenji discussing new phrases he had learned, Sarah and Diego joking about their role-play scenarios, and Chloe practicing intonation with Pierre. They were living proof that language comes alive when used spontaneously. Mistakes might still happen, but each slip offered a chance to improve. Above all, the camaraderie they shared made every challenge feel like a team effort. Megan and Josh approached, their smiles reflecting the pride they felt in witnessing so many breakthroughs. They reminded everyone that genuine progress isn't measured by perfect grammar tests, but by the willingness to speak up, ask questions, and support each other. Even small steps like remembering to say, "Could you help me?" instead of "help me" were victories worth celebrating. Over time, these achievements would pave the path toward greater fluency, boosting confidence and transforming hesitant learners into assured speakers. As the night sky filled with shimmering stars, counselors encouraged the group to set goals for the following days. Some wanted to master new vocabulary each morning. Others aimed to chat with at least 3 new campers daily. Anna resolved to leave fear behind, speaking whenever she had the chance, trusting that consistent practice would shape her progress. In a soft voice, Anna thanked her friends for their unwavering support. She realized they had formed a circle of empathy, a space where no mistake felt too big to overcome. Sure, their accents were distinct, and their grammar might falter here or there, but the campfire reminded them all that communication was about heart, not perfection. Tomorrow they would wake to new challenges, a lake paddle, a forest hike, or another group project. And yet, With every activity, they carried forward the confidence born from day one's scavenger hunt. Determined to keep building on that foundation, Anna gazed at the camp's flickering lights. Her voice soft but assured, she whispered to herself, "I can do this." In that moment, her journey toward English fluency felt truly unstoppable.